Okay, so I'm joined on White Owl Discs with Jose. Hey!
How are
Welcome
you?
to the family.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's it's so good to meet you.
Likewise. It's been a while since we were supposed to meet for the first time, but on these crazy times, you never know when you're gonna meet someone or not.
Exactly.
But it's good to finally meet you. The
Oh,
legendary.
welcome to the Classic Ibiza family.
Thank you very much. Really
Yeah.
happy to be part of the team now.
Oh, good. We're glad, very, very glad to have you. So obviously the idea for 2021 was that you were going to be doing a wonderful warm-up set for us on tour, really setting the tone, setting the mood of the evening, just as the sun was setting. What did you have in store for us, like sound-wise?
Well, the idea was to have a mix of kind of classic Ibiza sounds, like the whole chill out sessions, like DJ Alfredo and Café del Mar, that kind of updated to these times a little bit with the sounds that I play. We are very Latin influenced. I'm from Venezuela, so that's always part of everything I do. I play different type of music, but whatever I play has a kind of Latin thing going on. So that was the idea. So unfortunately, we couldn't deliver this year, but hopefully next year,
Oh,
I will
definitely
be able
next
to.
year.
Yeah.
I think we just set a summer evening absolutely perfectly. I can't wait to hear your set. Now, you know Ibiza very well.
A little bit.
Yeah,
A little bit.
I'd like to hear your stories. Tell us about some of your previous DJ residencies in Ibiza or around the world.
Well, I've been doing this for a bit, about I think 20 years. So I've worked in different places. But in Ibiza, I was very lucky to play in Pacha, when Pacha was probably the most famous club in the world, or the best in the world, I would say. The year where they had David Guetta with Fuck Them Famous, and when the Swedish House Mafia had the residency on Pure Pacha. So it was very special to be part of those years. And yeah, I used to have a residency in the Global Room.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's where I played, in the Global Room. I love that space.
Yeah,
it's
fantastic.
So good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So that was my experience mostly. But I might be a bit biased because Pacha is such a great club. But Ibiza is full of good clubs. In the past, there have been some fantastic clubs that were not there anymore. Are not there anymore. And still now, it's the place where everyone should go at least once in their life. But mostly Pacha. And then in the UK, probably the longest residency I had was Ministry of Sound. I had a residency for about 9 years, I think.
Amazing.
We used to play in a big party there, Latino party, for a long time. And for me, it was my break as a DJ to be able to play there and actually play in the box. I play in all the rooms at different times, but my residency was in the box. I mean, it was fantastic for me as an up and coming DJ to be able to play there. It was like, wow. Still, because Ministry, obviously now people say, well, Ministry is not what it used to be. Of course, no. We go older. Everyone go older, and our music taste changes with times. But Ministry is still Ministry of Sound. It's one of those kind of iconic venues, and those, I would say, those for me are not the biggest, because you change, and some things that might not be as important as others as you get older, but they were very special to me, those two residencies.
But they're such iconic, timeless spaces. That's what I think. It's so funny you say that, because I used to present Ministry of Sound Radio as well. So we're connected, you and I. So it's all like it's linked. You're my sound.
I think it's still a great venue. I haven't been there for a few years now, but I just have good memories. We left not because of any problems, just they started changing management a lot, and there was new people coming through, and I just didn't have the time to be dealing with new people, really. moved on to do other things. But it was great. I can only say positive things about those two places.
Yeah. And with your favorite club in Ibiza, would you say Pacha or?
Well, the thing it's hard because at the time Space was always rocking.
Yeah.
And even though you go to Pacha is a big can be very snobby in the sense that they had the biggest VIP area in the whole island, and it was it can get a bit snobby for my liking. I'm a very chill person, and Space was more like turn up and do your thing. So I think my loyalties when it comes to party myself were divided between those two, and I also saw some fantastic DJs in Space at the time.
I was at the closing party of Space before it turned into High. Yeah. Oh my God, like it seemed like the party that never ended. It just kept going and going, and it was just so much fun.
And also for me, the first time I went to Space, because I've been to Ibiza 3 or 4 times, but never hadn't gone to Space. And then one night I went, and everything made sense. Because I thought, well, this is alright, but it's not that great. Until I went to Space, and when I was there, I saw people crying to the music and just partying, and it was just like sense of love and unity. It was very nice, and that's when everything made sense, and that was my kind of turning point as a fan of Ibiza for me.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think makes the island so special and so unique? And ultimately, like that magic is what we really try and create in the touring Classic Ibiza show. So yeah, can you try and like pinpoint it exactly? For me, I think it's the freedom.
Yeah, I think the freedom to be who you want to be. I think that's a very important element. But also for me is the music, because I'm a music person. All I do is music. It's my life. Apart from my family, music the other thing I really love. And when you see this music they play, it creates something very special when music is played there, and then you take that moment back home, and then it stays with you for years. It might be people who went to Ibiza 20 years ago and still remember those sets, those DJs, those moments. Even they might not gone to the big clubs, they just stay in bars, but still the music creates the atmosphere, and that's very special. As you say, the freedom of be who you want to be, and the music atmosphere that across the island.
Now, anyone that's been to the White Isle always has some kind of crazy story where something weird happens, or they meet some kind of like DJ and they go off an adventure. Like, what's your like best crazy story, crazy White Isle story?
Well, it's crazy, but I only remember half of it because I really blacked out. I went to see Eric Morillo, and Eric Morillo is sensational. Was my all-time favorite DJ, inspirational guy, sensational DJ and producer. I went to see him, and it was such a great party. But and then I think I was already working there in Pacha, and I was getting free drinks at one point. But then you don't want to always kind of get free drinks after paying. And I was really drunk. I don't really drink too much, but I do remember about 4 or 5. I completely, blacked out and turned up at about 3 in the afternoon in the hotel where I was, with no much memory of it. So
must have been a good time.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. I had my wallet, I had my passport, I had everything was in one piece. So okay, well, I do remember going to kind of Space and doing after parties and all that, and it was great. I remember it was great because I didn't have that kind of funny sensation of something went wrong. No, I didn't have that. But I would like to remember what happened. But I can.
Oh, I remember like my favorite club on the island's Amnesia, because it's just like another world. And for anyone that hasn't been, that's watching, it's basically the club they feature in Kevin and Perry, the movie.
Yeah, I remember.
So it was, this that's what Ibiza was to me. And then I went and I was like, oh my God, it's just like the movie. And I had a really big night in Amnesia. And we went to Pike's for an after party, which is this lovely, like, bohemian hotel in the hills. And Freddie Mercury and Kylie Minogue, you know, used to hang out there, and Grace Jones and stuff. And it was very late. Like, it was probably more early than late. And I looked down, and there was a dwarf dancer dressed as an ice cream cone just licking my knee. And I was like, it's time to go home. Like, this is like, it's time to go home. So
your ones is wilder than mine. I know, I don't remember no one licking my knees. You know, that's what I remember. No knee leaking going on my story.
So, what do you think makes a great DJ?
Oh, I think there is different types of DJs. You know, I consider myself a club DJ. That's my thing. You know, I play for people to dance to music, and for a great club DJ, there's several elements. First, you need to have a good music collection, you know, and being able to select what's good. You have to be able to read your crowd, because no night is the same. And I think you need to be technical to a certain degree. I'm not saying everyone has to be a Carl Cox or a, you know, DJ Craze or, you know, whoever of those great technical DJs, but you need to be able to do certain things, you know, beat matching, you know, crossfading. You know, I know there is a lot of people who say, well, it's all about selection. Yes, selection is, you know, probably it's not the most important thing, it's right there, but you need to be able to do your job properly. And I think, you know, part of that is just being able, I'm not saying you have to go, you know, be a vinyl DJ or no, I'm not into that. You know, whatever you use, that's the job, is fine, in my opinion, but you need to be a bit technical enough to hold the night.
To keep it flowing, yeah.
I think that's it. And I would say those are the main three things: good music collection, you know, good taste. Believe it or not everyone can select music, and reading the crowd, and be technical to, you know, to a certain degree where you can rock it.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, and finally, so your White Isle disc, basically, if you were stranded on a tropical island, say Ibiza, and you could listen to one track forever and ever, what would it be to keep you sane?
So many. Let me think. I don't know. There is a track by Hercules and Love Affair.
Ooh, good choice.
Because I think I was there. I think I was there when Frankie Knuckles played his last set.
Oh my God.
I was there, and that year his remix of Blind got the kind of the award for the best song, and he closed the set. He said with that song, and it was a very special moment because I was DJing that night in the other room, so I finished at 2, and I finished at 4, and he started at 4. So we had a couple of friends in common. I got introduced to the guy who was a lovely man. And then he was playing an old vinyl set, which is very rare to see these days. And he was flawless. He was really flawless. He said, technical skills, like it was perfect. You see someone like that, I was just mesmerized by, you know, his music, and he closed with that, and that's a memory I have of him kind of closing, and people just like, you know, crying and everyone hugging. So it was great. I think that song, you know, will be a pretty good song to spend time listening to.
Love that track. I went through a stage. I think one summer I literally played it every set, every single festival set. It's just flawless.
Wonderful, yeah, it's wonderful. So, you know, today that could be a song that I would play. You know, if I have to go to an island forever, you know, I wouldn't mind taking that track.
Oh, you and I, we're going to get on like a house on fire.
I'm sure we will.
Thank you so much for chatting to us today.
Thank you for the opportunity. Really, really pleasant to meet you.
You too. And bring on next summer. Big summer touring.
I'm sure we'll kill it.
Oh.
Okay.
Massive love. See you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.